Hi everybody and welcome to the Mental Toughness and Body Show. My name is Rob Evans and I'm your weight loss coach, health strategist and internationally published author, helping take your life, your business, your body, your health, your wellness from where you are to where it is that you want to be. And I'm really excited about today's topic because it's about how to discipline yourself better. Really, to discipline yourself better in any area of your life. Now, I know that most people listening to this are probably going to have some kind of health challenge. It could be you just want to lose a few kilos of fat, you just might want to get some more energy, sleep better, be pain-free, feel more sexy, look more sexy, just have an overall optimized level of health, improve your self-image, self-esteem, self-confidence, any or all of those things, and maybe some more that I've left out there. So today's conversation is going to be in the context of how do we discipline you better so that you can continue on this journey to optimize health and the ultimate body that you want forever without it just being a seasonal fitness campaign. So spring, summer is coming and it's like, oh wow, it's time to derobe some clothes and get out tighter fitting clothes. So maybe I better start looking after myself a little better because I don't want to feel embarrassed when I take off clothes. I'm in a bikini or that sounds wrong when I say it like that, but if I'm in the togs and the beach shorts and you don't have a shirt on and it's like, oh gosh, I don't really like what I see. You want to have confidence. Now you don't have to take off the shirt, you don't have to have the six pack, but it's about how you feel in your own skin and optimizing your health at the same time. But everything, I'm going to use that as the framework for what we're going to talk about here today. But you can talk about these 9 principles or use these 9 principles through any area of your life where you want to become more disciplined. Now, I like to say that what I'm about to go through with you here and many of the other examples that I've given to you as well over the past 100 plus days, these are tools, okay? So tools are things that may not be used all the time. They may need to be used from time to time. But why do we have a toolbox to carry our tools in? So if you have a tradesperson to come into your house, chances are they've probably got a number of tools. They've got a hammer, they've got some chisels, they've got some screwdrivers, they've got some hammers, saws, tape measures, all those kinds of things. Now, if somebody is coming in and they want to measure something up and they get out a screwdriver, you'd think, okay, you can, yes, eventually get to the length that you want by measuring with your screwdriver, but it's not the most efficient tool for the job. And so there are going to be moments in your life where you think, what is the right tool for what I'm feeling like right now? And that may be that, you know what, I'm not feeling disciplined enough in my craft right now. So you would pull out this tool. So number 1 of the 9 steps is, first of all, what do you want to improve? You want to become more disciplined, but what do you want to become more disciplined in? And let's just talk about that for a second in the context of health and fitness. Do you want to sleep better? Is that your driving force? Do you want to look better? Do you want the six pack? Do you just want to be healthier? Do you want to drop 2 kilos, 5 kilos, 10 kilos, 20 kilos, 50 kilos, 100 kilos? What is it that you want? Do you just want more energy? Do you want to... Okay, so I'm working with a number of clients that they want to have kids. So in order for that to happen, they want to put their bodies in the best possible position of health so that they've got a greater likelihood of conceiving and not having to go via an IVF treatment or that kind of stuff. Whatever it is for you, what is it that you want to improve? You must determine exactly what that is with rock solid certainty. So I'll give you an example of somebody I spoke to recently, and she's just come in for a free trial next week. And she said to me, when I asked her about what her health and fitness goals were, she said, well, I want to lose a bit of weight, but it's not really important to me. I just want to feel good about myself. And, she mentioned a couple of other things, and it's like, she was just vague. And so I drilled in a little bit more, and I said, so you mentioned weight loss. So tell me a little bit about that. if you had to put a number on it, how much would it be? And she said, oh, well, I don't like to put numbers on things and I don't like to measure it that way. I just want to feel good. I said, okay, well, what would make you feel good? Would you say by sizes of clothes, for instance? And she said, no, I don't really, guide by that. And then she mentioned about 15 to 20 kilos. Now, 15 to 20 kilos is somewhere between, certainly in Australian sizes, 3 to 4 sizes of clothes downwards. And she said, I just want to feel good. And I said, okay. So I said, I bet you would feel good if you were 15 to 20 kilos down. And she said, yeah, I would. But, that's not really important to me. I said, okay. So she was flip-flopping between what she kind of wanted, but she didn't want to set herself up for failure, in my mind, I was thinking, by putting a number on it. Now, what does that tell you about that person? Or what does it tell you about how successful they're going to be? And I would say this, based on the thousands of people that I've worked with before, if you can't clearly articulate your goal, you are not going to get there. Now, if she really does want to lose 20 kilos, it's not accidentally going to show up. And I've got many people that may come along and they just want to feel good, but they don't actually change anything, but they feel good when they come because it's just a case of, well, you exercise, you move, and of course you're going to feel good. And you feel good about that. You're creating some healthy habits. But if you want to achieve the dream, and because she's preparing for a wedding as well, then why wouldn't you name it? Why wouldn't you go hard at it? So I find the people that are most successful are those things that say, I want this. I want the six-pack. I want it by this date. I want to feel great in the process. I want to have fun, a lot of fun in the process, because that's really important for me to make sure that I can sustain this forever. I love working with people that come to me and say, look, I'm sick and tired of the way that I feel and I want to achieve this particular body. I want to achieve this amount of weight loss, but I also want to be a great example for my kids. I want to live a healthier lifestyle. I don't want them to see them following the same path that I followed, and I want to set a better example for them. So you've got to be really clear about what it is that you want. Step 2. This might seem very obvious, but so many people don't do it, and this is probably the hardest part. Why is it important to you what you want? Why is that important? Now, most people will say, oh, well, I just want to look good. Now, those that are deeper, and I know will be successful, will say kind of what I just said before. Well, do you know what? I've always been overweight, and now my kids, I've noticed they're watching what I'm eating and they're starting to eat the same thing, and I don't feel good about that. So I want to be a better example for them. I don't want them to eat as much sugar. I don't want them to become overweight and lazy. I don't want them to spend so much time in front of their iPads. I want to have the energy so that I can run around with them and be a good example for them. I want to have more energy in the bedroom. I want to be able to feel good and sexy when I'm making love to my partner. I want all of those things. Now, isn't that quite powerful? Because it's so multi-dimensional. Now, for you, it's going to be different. But you must have a why. And it must be really, really strong. Because remember, what's our goal here? How do you become more disciplined? Well, these are the first 2 fundamental steps. If you don't know what it is that you want to really become more disciplined at, but you just feel like, I feel like I should be as disciplined as Rob because he's now almost recorded 1,000 podcasts and he's done them every day, and some days he does 2 and he does X, Y, Z. It's like, well, that's not going to drive you. That might inspire you and aspire you to be something more and give more, but it's not going to discipline you to change the things that you need to change. So identifying why it is that you want it is really, really crucial. My reason for wanting to achieve my six-pack before, I've talked about this in a few podcasts now, but I'm super clear on it. I have a very strong vision in my mind of what it looks like at the end. And I think it's important to have the end in your mind so that you can, when things get tough, you can go to that image and say, I'm working to this because I know that that's what I'm going to look like. That's what I'm striving to achieve. I know that I'm tired right now, but I know that's not going to last forever. I know this is hurting right now, but that's not going to last forever, and I'm going to keep pushing through. I'm going to keep achieving because it's so important to me. I've spoken about wanting to achieve my particular goal for the last 32 years, and I've never been able to do it because I've just made up excuses as to why I'm not ready to do it right there and then. But I'm sick and tired of doing that, and I said that this year was going to be my year because I want to prove to myself that I can stick to something, that I can achieve the body that I want. I can achieve the look that I've never achieved before. I can eat the food. I can do it all. It's not as hard as I thought it would be, to be honest, but I can do all those things. And I knew it would be hard, but I knew it was also a super important thing for me to do. And I wasn't going to stop. I wasn't going to let anything stop me, not even COVID, from doing it, because I had created this vision of me standing on stage in front of 5,000 people screaming. There's music blaring in the background. AC/DC's Thunderstruck. I'm all tanned up and shaved down and standing there in my shorts with my shirt off, and I've got this gleaming six-pack and I'm holding a check above my head. And when it gets really tough for me and I'm hurting, like yesterday on a leg press, I have that vision in my mind saying, this is what I'm doing it for. And I'll focus on a body part and I'll say, it's because these legs, I'm going to look like this. That's why I'm doing this set right now. And you just keep pushing and you keep pushing. I'll tell you another thing that I do, keep looking at that vision. So right now, I'm still recovering from some food poisoning. And it would be very easy for me to say, do you know what? I'm going to not record podcasts this week. I'm not going to do any work. I'm not going to see any clients. I'm not going to do any coaching sessions. I'm not going to watch what I eat. But instead, I said, hang on, I'm 22 days away from achieving the best body of my life. Well, I've got that now, but to achieve the ultimate goal for this year, and I can't stop now. Now, as upset as my stomach has been, as I'm still recovering, I have to be careful about what it is that I eat, because I can't eat too much fibrous food because it's just too much churning on my tummy. But I'm still making sure that I get in 6 meals, and some of them, like I just had one before, and it wasn't what I would normally have at this time. So I'd normally have 3 cups of veggies and say 150 grams of chicken. But I can't do that at the moment. It's just too much on my tummy. So I had to have a protein bar, and at least that was something. So I'm using things that are gentle on my tummy, but still trying to get in at least, 75, maybe 80, or yeah, I'll just say 75% of what it is that I would normally be eating in, so that I can still nurture my recovery, still nurture my body, but not prolong it for so long that I'm off for a few, like a week or something. So we'll see how I progress. But it's so important to me that I say, well, I can't just afford to stop doing all those things, because I'm driven. I'm driven towards success every day. So that means I keep doing it. I have that vision of why all these different things in my life are important. So that's why I do them. Step number 3. Why must you absolutely change now? Why is it so important for you to change your behavior from what it is that you're doing right now to become more disciplined by doing something else? Why is that important to you? Now, as you can probably gather, I should have said this at the outset. In order to do this and use this tool properly, you need to write it down. I like to type on a Word document or write it in a notebook, but you must write these answers down, because you will not get to the crux of what's stopping you by keeping it in your head or just thinking about the first couple of things. You've got to write it all down. And when you get to the why, you'll find that just parts of you open up. Give yourself, say, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, something like that, to just write and write and write. And do the same thing right now. Why must you change right now? And for me, it was a case of, at the start of, it was the end of last year, early this year, I said, I'm sick of making excuses for myself. I'm going to do this for me, because I'm the sort of person that tends to sacrifice myself for everybody else. And that means that I don't get what I want. It means that I miss out on certain opportunities and things that I would like to do because I think I'll be the hero and I'll not do this so I can do this for someone else and they'll feel good about that. But in the long term, that doesn't serve me well. So that was a big reason for me. I want my kids to be proud of me. And I just felt that it was time. And I attached other things to this. I said, if I can do this for my body, there's no stopping me. There's nothing I can't do. And I'm using this as a vehicle of success for me. So write it down. Why must you change now? Number 4, what has stopped you in the past? Big question. Chances are, especially if it's a health journey, that you've tried to lose weight before or you've tried different things before. What stopped you? Was it boredom? Was it lack of accountability? Was it no results? Was it confusion? Was it illness? Was it distraction? What was it for you? There'll be something that made you stop. For me, in the past, this will probably be most of yours, it was excuses. I came up with a story as to why it wasn't possible for me to achieve a six-pack in this moment or this year or this next period of time. I just came up with excuses. I made up stories and said, well, I can't because, I'm studying to become a chartered accountant. My work schedule is too busy. I'm in a relationship, it's too hard. We're just starting out on our relationship and I don't want to spend so much time in the gym. It's going to take me too long. I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can be that strict on my food. I can't afford to train as much as I need to. All of these things are just stories that I made up. Now the reality is I train less than I think I need to. I train less than I used to think I needed to get the result. I only do 3 weight sessions a week, and right now they're 35 to 40 minutes long. That's it. I walk 5 days a week for 25 minutes. That's it. The rest of it is focusing on the food. Is the food hard? No, it might be for some people, and if you went from what you're eating right now to what I'm eating and say, wow, that's a massive change, and yeah, maybe that's too quick, but because I've been doing this type of eating for so long, it's pretty simple for me. So I looked at those things that will stop me and I said, well, the excuses, stop making them, create a new story for yourself. Step number 5. What are you going to gain when you do this, when you become more disciplined, when you get that body, that health, that fitness, that wellness? Write down all the positive things that you can think of. Set your timer for, say, 5 minutes and just write all the different things that you are going to get from this. You're going to get a greater sense of energy, a greater sense of focus, a greater sense of productivity. That's going to mean more sales to me. I'm going to feel more confident. That's going to help me get a partner. It's going to help me stay more connected to my partner. It's going to help me feel better about who I am as a man, as a woman. It's going to give me more self-confidence. It's going to provide me with that platform that I can reach out to more people now because I don't feel so self-conscious about my body. It's going to enable us to have children. It's going to really light up my activity levels in the bedroom because I've now got more energy, and my sexual health is such an important part of me, and this is going to help with that side of me. Whatever it is for you, you are going to come up with your own reasons, but this is the fun part. Write. Put me on pause if you need to, or come back and listen to this again. Step 6. I want you to write down what it's going to cost you if you don't change now. What's it going to cost you? Well, it may cost you a family because, you can't have kids. It may be, the income that you're getting into your household right now may drop because you're not going to make as many sales because you don't feel so self-confident. You're not going for that promotion. You don't feel so good. You become more disconnected with your partner. You make up stories about what your partner thinks about the physical you. Your energy levels and productivity just fall through the floor. you're just really battling to do the things that you really want to, because you don't have that optimized level of health that you truly want. Step number 7, get coaching and accountability. If you want to become disciplined at something, you need somebody to help you. You need somebody to help coach you, and that will help you stay more focused, because you may be able to do something for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 6 weeks. But getting up to that 90 days and that beyond that 90 days, most people will not do it. They just won't. But if you really want it badly enough, you will. And the best way to help you stay on track, so let's say that you're 10 months down the track now. Oh, excuse me, that was a live sneeze. You're 10 months down the track and you're starting to wane a little bit. Well, if you're connected with your coach will keep you accountable. And that helps you stay on track. The coach is there to guide you, constantly remind you that, hang on, what are you doing? This isn't going to work. Get back on track, do this, etc., etc. So really super powerful, especially in your health and wellness journey, because you'll find that you get close to your goal. Maybe not at your goal, but you get close to it. And that's when that old thing called complacency sneaks back in and says to you, well, you've been working really hard, you've got some good results, you're not quite there yet, but you can back it off now. I know many people have done that. Don't be like that. Keep the gas on. Keep coaching, stay accountable. Step number 8. What did I say was one of the reasons for me which has stopped me in the past? Excuses. So what I want you to do, number 8, stop the excuses. I said this yesterday as well. Stop making up the stories. Stop telling yourself why you can't have what it is that you want to become completely disciplined in to completely change your life. Just stop making up the stories. Tell yourself the truth. You can do this. You deserve this. You will do this. You just have to be consistent and focused, and you'll get there. And step number 9, you just keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. And that's the process of being disciplined. As hard as it gets, you keep on doing it anyway. Why? Because you know what you want. How's that going to keep you going? Because you know why that's so important to you. Why do you have to change right now? Well, I need to change right now because I'm sick and tired of feeling like this. I'm so sick and tired of being sick and tired. It's time to reclaim my body, reclaim my self-confidence, get that level of health that I've always wanted. A lot of people's driving force, what it's going to cost you. A lot of people have a family history of issues. So it might be heart-related issues, it might be obesity-related issues, it might be diabetes-related issues, it might be heart disease and cancer. But for some people, that's still not enough to drive them. I am heartbroken by that. I feel, man, you already know that you're in such a high risk category because you're already overweight, and your family history, your genetics say that you have a predisposition to these other diseases as well. Why won't you do something about it, please? But it's too hard, and it's the story that they make up for themselves about how hard it is. But all it is a story. There's always a way. You've just got to be disciplined, consistent, and sometimes you need to be patient as well. This is why I love coaching so much. Because the coach can tell when things aren't going right. The coach can tell you exactly what it is that's not working for you. I was doing a coaching session with a lady today, and I gave her a really great exercise last week. And every exercise that I give her, she's doing so well. And I said to her today, the growth that you've had, well, let me go back a step. She was telling me about her weight loss, and she's down about 2 kilos over an 8-week period. And I said to her, she was disappointed, and I said to her, what you need to do is think about it this way. That weight loss of 2 kilos is about 250 grams a week. I said, that's still good. I mean, we're looking for, maybe 500 grams to a kilo, but I said most women are averaging around 500 grams. But I said, there's more to this. I said, that's just the weight on the scales. I said, the centimetres will be more meaningful because you know that you've changed your body shape. You have more muscle now. Muscle's heavier than fat. So the number on the scales doesn't tell you a complete story. And I said, look how much you have grown over the past 9 weeks. I said, the person that I spoke to 9 weeks ago is not the same person as now. I said, you are way more focused. You are way healthier. Your mindset is completely different. And I just went through a couple of examples with her as to what she was doing before with her food that she's not even considering doing now. And often because you live with yourself every day and you see yourself every day, you don't recognize those changes. But when other people, she just caught up with some other people and said, wow, you've lost so much weight, you've changed so much. But she didn't recognize all of those things. And then she was telling me about how she used to live over in Germany, and she came out to Germany 7 years ago, and how hard that was for her on her mindset and the expectations placed on her family back home about her kids speaking German, and how tough it was for her. But she kept pushing forward anyway. And it's just so amazing. It just lights me up so much to see how much people can change just by asking the right questions and giving people the right task, pulling out the right tools for the people at the right time. Now, in terms of the coaching, where this was good was because she was a little bit dissatisfied. I spoke about all the good things. I looked at her nutrition journal. I said, now, so here's the good news. I said, you've got room for improvement here so that you can achieve better results. And she didn't have any idea on what that was. And I told her, I said, look, see this meal here, you're only getting in about 2 cups of plant-based food right now. I want you to, just for this week, focus on those meals, getting at least 3 cups in. You don't need to change anything else, except don't miss your snack. On a couple of days she was missing her snacks. I said, don't worry about anything else. Just keep doing that. But those 2 meals a day, I want lunchtime, I want some more veggies in there, or salad, and the same for dinner time. She said, oh yeah, I can do that. And that was it. Now, she had no idea. She was just going to flip-flop or, go back to old habits because, whatever story she'd made up in her mind that it wasn't going to work. But me as the coach can come in and say, well, I can see exactly what's going wrong here. She's doing like nine times out of 10, well, I'll say 80% of the things she's doing right all the time, and that's really good. But what does that tell you? She's doing a good job. There's 20% we can still tighten up on. And to me, that's exciting because I can see that there's more work to be done. The trouble is that most people think, I'm doing everything that I can, but no, you're not. And often you don't know that, which is why you need the coach. So I hope you found this really useful. How to discipline yourself better. Really important skill. Keep it in your toolkit. Bring it out when you need to. See you tomorrow.